How's it hanging, everyone? It's Jake here with Infinite Nebula Gaming again. I've got my updated Runic deck, Runic Mine, 40 cards. I'm planning to take this to a regional in 2 weeks, 2-ish weeks. Tweaking it still a little bit here and there, but I am liking what I got so far. I'm liking how Runic's playing. I'm liking how the deck is going, and I think the Mine variant is probably the best variant so far. So we're gonna go through this quick. If you want to check out my previous list, it's a little longer, a little more in depth. Check it out on our channel. But let's get right into this. 40 cards, main deck, Runic. So starting off with our Runic cards. 3 Runic tip. This is your staple, your ad right here. If you don't know with the Runic cards too, if this is your first introduction to Runic, all the Runics have 2 effects. Your first effect where you do one thing and then you mill, and then the second effect where you special summon a Runic extra deck monster. It's one or the other, and they are hard once per turns. So without that out of the way, let's continue. So 3 Runic tip, 3 Runic destruction. This is your spell trap removal right here. 3 Runic freezing curses. Target an opponent's monster, shuts effects off for the turn. Comes in clutch more than you would think. So 3 of that. 3 Runic Slumber. When you get your monster floodgates on the board, this is your protection right here. If they were to be destroyed by battle or card effects, the next time they are not. So 3 right there for protection. So those are my 3 ofs for Runics. Then I'm running 2 Runic Dispelling. This was one of the cards that I was playing with the proportions of. I think I'm liking 2 right now. When your opponent adds a card outside of the draw phase, you discard 1 random card from their hand. Pretty awesome right there. So 2 of that. Then for 1-ofs, I got 1 Runic Golden Droplet, 1 Runic Smiting Storm, a Flashing Fire, and those are my 1-ofs for the quick plays. And so to note with that, I am running at least 1 of every quick play Runic spell. Main staples right there, and 17 total that I have in the deck for the quick plays. Then I'm running 2 of the field spells. Runic Fountain. I think 2 is fine. It's searchable. It's reoccurable. 2 is good enough. I think 3 is a little too bricky. So 2 of that. And then the other non-quick play is Runic Allure. This is searchable also. And every time you activate a Runic quick play, it's an additional banish 1 from the top of your opponent's deck. So those are my Runic cards for the deck. 20 overall. I like that portion right there. You see them plenty of times and allows you to go into all your combos and set up your plays. So going into what we have for monsters, I'm running 2 Majesty's Fiend. Before I was doing Vanity's Fiend, I did Vanity's Fiend for a locals level. I knew at locals level there was plenty of branded running around, and I do have Vanity in my side. So if I'm going against the branded deck, I'm siding these out. But to start out with regional, I switched over to Majesty. I think it has a higher impact and overall is better for regional scene. So 2 of him. And then 2 Curry Bandit. This is a new addition to the deck. And my last 2 monsters for the deck. During the turn, he's normal summon on end phase. Tribute him as cost. Excavate the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 spell or trap. Goes pretty sweet with Runics, and it helps mill out some of your cards to go into Runic Fountain some more. So only 4 monsters overall. Then I switched over to Pot of Prosperity. It's a lot nicer when you get to pick the card that you're adding to hand compared to getting 2 random cards, so that's why I swapped over to that. Also, I got it on loan from my buddy Dave, so had that option available for me right there, so that's why we went with these 2. Then for Mystic Mine, I went down to 2. I've got the 3rd one in the side. I like 2 to start out with. 3's a little bricky, and it's a great card to come into. Your opponents hate it, and you'll feel bad sometimes putting it against your opponent, but it's a good stall, and to also keep the deck milling out on your opponent. So 2 Mystic Mine, 2 Gozen, pretty self-explanatory right there, as well as 2 Rivalry of the Warlords. These are also some more of your floodgates to help stall and to slow your opponent down. Then I'm running 3 solemns still. You need to protect your board and slow your opponent down. You don't want to get dark rulered. You don't want to lose any of your floodgates. So 3 of that, and we don't care about life points whatsoever. So now going into the one-ofs, I got 1 called by. 1 Day of Peace. Helps slow your opponent down. You both get a draw 1, but you take no battle damage for a turn. 1 Terraforming, pretty straightforward right there. Instant Fusion is a new addition that I went into the deck. All of your Runic fusion cards, they're below a level 5. So something I didn't realize on my last deck list, but it's pretty easy, and you get all their effects still. And then rounding out, I have Metaverse for my 40 card list. Metaverse, pretty straightforward right there. Activate, go into your mine, or go into Fountain. Pretty straightforward on that. So I ran through that a little quick, but the cards are pretty self-explanatory. And again, if you want to check out my previous video that we did on the channel, it's a little more in-depth, a little longer, but you'll get thorough explanation of all the cards. So let's go into the extra deck now. I'm going 3 Gary. I'm going with Gary for the pronunciation. I'm not sure if it's Gary, Gary, Jury, whatever. So 3 of him. 3 Munin. He's pretty sweet. When going into time, you get him set up. On end phase, you always gain 1,000 life points. So it'll help put you over your opponent if you're going into time right there. So 3 of him. 3 Munin. With Munin, she's one of your main starters. She's your searcher for the field spell. So almost like 7 out of 10 times you're going into her. And then for some other instant fusion targets, I'm running 2 Millennium Eyes Restrict. I only have 2, that's why I'm running him at 2, but I think 2 is just fine. Get him set up, and he's a monster negate. We don't care about that 1,000 life points you'd be losing on instant fusion, so pretty sweet to have right there to help you with your combos. Then I'm running 3 Link Karibo and 1 Relinquish Anima. So if you all don't know, heroes are kind of at full power right now. And they're running around with that level 1 Dark Angel, which says you can't use your spells whatsoever. So in the odd chance that I'm faced up against a hero player and he pulls that crap on me, I have the out right there with my Link 1s. And that's why I'm running these 4 with it. In the odd chance that I do run into that, I got the out. And if I wasn't running these, I'd try to fit Super Poly in somewhere and have my 4 Super Poly targets. But I like having this in there. I don't think Super Poly is needed in the deck because there's plenty of other just board stoppers and ways just to stop your opponent. So that's what I'm going with right now. So 40 card main Runic. Again, if you guys want to check out my previous list for locals, check out the channel. It's more in depth, but this is what I'm going to be taking to regionals shortly. I might make 1 or 2 tweaks, but this is what I got, and I'm enjoying it all. Let us know in the comments, what are your thoughts? What are your concerns? Do you think it could be better? Do you think it's great as is? Let us know. Hit the like, give us a subscribe, and until next time, my name's Jake, and have a great night, everyone.